a game I wanted to attend. It was always a game I really wanted to attend. So the way it works at the University of Florida is there are way more people on that campus than there are seats in the stadium. So you're not guaranteed a seat just because you are a student. So one of the things I would do is I was very good at networking and putting myself in a position where I would be able to line up tickets. So one particular year, I was tutoring a young lady who was the girlfriend of one of the star players. So she explained to me that since this star player lived out of town, he actually was from Indianapolis, he wouldn't have any family members coming to the game. So she guaranteed me that I would be able to have a ticket to the game because I tutored her from a C to an A. Jackpot. I'm going to the game. Now this was big. In fact, this was 1993. Those old school sport fans may remember Warren Dunn was on Florida State and Emmitt Smith was on Florida. It was a big year for Florida versus Florida State. So long story short, this young lady who I tutored from a C to an A, did I mention that? This young lady that I tutored from a C to an A, 2 weeks before the Florida and Florida State game, she broke up with her boyfriend. How selfish could she be to not just maintain that relationship for 2 more weeks so that her tutor could get that ticket? So that was the year that I learned a lesson in economics that I still teach and talk about to this day. Because it was only 2 weeks, so I didn't have enough time to line up another ticket. So I did something I've never done before. I got some cash, I went to the game, and I began to look for tickets. Now, the way it works, now hear me, because this is not a conversation about football. This is a conversation about economics. And we are here in this IML platform because, like Pastor Bird said, we have an economic opportunity that is through the roof. So these concepts that I'm teaching you in the auspices of this story will be valuable. Stay with me. So I go to the field and I do what individuals do to signify they're interested in a ticket. I put my finger up. This means I want 1 ticket. That means I want 4. That means I want 6. This means I want 1 ticket. So this was a very competitive game. And I noticed that when I looked around, there were a lot of people that had fingers up. A lot of people. Now, the universal way in which you let someone know that you're selling a ticket is you take the ticket and you hold it up. You have 1 ticket, you walk around like this. You have 3 tickets, you walk around with 3 tickets. So the finger represents that you want to buy. The ticket represents that you want to sell. So one of the things I noticed when I went to this number 1 versus number 2 Florida versus Florida State game, because the girl broke up with her boyfriend 2 weeks before the game, I noticed there were a lot of fingers. But there weren't that many tickets. There were a lot of buy orders. Watch me. We watch this in the market every day. Well, whether you realize it or not, I'm talking about currency pairs. So they've got all of these fingers representing a buy, but only a few tickets representing a sell. So I paid a pretty large amount for the ticket. The amount doesn't really matter, but it was a large amount, larger than I expected to pay. Then the following year, everybody on Florida graduated. Everybody on Florida State graduated. So now the teams went down in value. So the rankings were lower. So the next year, the individual teams were like maybe 13 and 14 in the nation instead of 1 versus 2. Then I noticed, because it worked so smoothly, I said, hey, I don't have to go through all this networking stuff. I'll just go and buy a ticket. So I went with cash in my pocket again to buy a ticket the following year. And guess what? I saw individuals with fingers up to represent buys. This is a buy order. And I saw individuals with tickets up representing sell. This is a sell order. But guess what? Because they were ranked number 13 and 15, and in the state of Florida, we get kind of spoiled with our sports. There were a whole bunch of tickets, whole bunch of sell orders, but only a few buy orders. So I noticed that the price that I paid for a scalp ticket was almost $150 to $200 less the second year. So let's review. The first year, number one versus number two, whole bunch of buys, only a few sells. The next year, when they're ranked number 13 and 15, whole bunch of sells, but only a few buys. So what Pastor Bird was talking about tonight, when he was talking about this RSI, he gave us this app that I've already downloaded on my phone. RSI stands for Relative Strength Index. Now, if you've noticed it or not, I'm sweating. And one of the reasons I'm sweating is because I'm upstairs, heat rises, I live in Tampa, Florida, the air conditioner's on, but it takes a little while for it to get started. So I thought to myself a couple of minutes ago, I wish I had a fan. Then I said to myself, it might not work because fans have a loud button that represents it moving. What do we call that button? Oscillator. The oscillator is what makes the fan spin around. I said that to say this. That's what an RSI is. It's an oscillator. An oscillator is something that moves from one end to another. And the RSI, or the Relative Strength Index, is simply representative of how the currency pairs oscillate from one thing to another. So this is what happens. The reason why I paid so much for that Florida State ticket is because there were more fingers, there were more buy orders than there were sell orders. So what that does is it increases the demand. And now the demand is higher, then that's going to make the price rise. But in the situations where there were more tickets than there were fingers, there were more sell orders. And so what happens in that scenario is that the price goes down because there are more people who are willing to sell. The more people who are selling something, it brings the price down. Have you ever noticed that if you go to a gas station and there are 4 gas stations on each of the 4 corners, that the prices are lower than if you went to the same exact gas station by itself in the cut where it's the only gas station? So the fact that there are more sellers of gas, the competition brings the price down. So I said all of that to say this. Pastor Bird did an outstanding job of making us understand the 70 and the 30. But here's why. The reason why it's 70 is because at that level, the currency, one currency versus the other, is overbought. There are too many people buying it. So if it's overbought, that means that the price is inflated, just like my Florida State ticket. And if the price is inflated, then that now means that you, the seller, will receive more than what you should get. And what's going to happen if a price is inflated? It's going to go down. And with the $30, it's oversold. There are too many people selling it. And that's why 30 is the right number, because so many people are selling it that the price is deflated, just like that number 13 versus 15 Florida State game. Just like those 4 gas stations all on one corner. It brings the price down. So all I'm doing really is giving you 2 things. Number one, a macroeconomic lesson, because the more that we become skilled at our investing, the more we can identify things. There were some excellent questions asked tonight, but they were what questions? What happens with this? And how do I do this? I want you to ask those questions. But what happens is, as we begin to layer in the concepts, as we begin to really understand the underpinnings and the infrastructure of what's going on, then we begin to see more. Then we're not just following the rules. Well, Pastor Bird always makes a big deal about us taking notes. So does Tasha Dyer, and I agree with that. Take the notes. But after a while, the notes become part of you. You start to internalize the theory and the concept and the meaning and the why behind the theory. And that's when you take off. That's when you're able to notice something and be able to adjust and put yourself in a situation where 6 months from now, you'll be delivering the training. So literally, this is a scenario where I wanted to make sure that we understood the why behind the 70 and the 30, the relative strength index. I'm telling you the relative strengths. And to make my analogy complete, think about it. That first game, the relative strength between those two teams was high, number one versus number two. So the price was higher, 70. And that second year, both teams were doing poor. And so the relative strength made that price go down. Now watch this. I have been doing that every single year since 1993. I go to Gainesville, I go to Tallahassee, and I buy a ticket because it works. Well, here's a scenario where the price is even lower. If there's a situation where one team is highly ranked and the other team isn't, it doesn't happen a lot, but sometimes it does, then the prices are even cheaper. Relative strength. The relative strength between the two teams is so deep that now the price is lower. Relative strength index. So let me pause real quick and see if anybody has any questions on the underlying concept, because it seems like we're talking about relative strength index, but what we're really talking about is the way economics works. We're really talking about the way in which prices, and I tell you, it's so precise that I can look at the rankings of the team and know how much money to put in my pocket. And economics is just that precise. But one of the things that's happened in our society is that we get this mindset that economics and accounting and finance is hard and difficult. So we don't really make the opportunity, take the time to learn it. But it really is easy if you really think about the logic behind it. So I hope that you realize that this conversation is much deeper than just how do you invest in a currency pair. It's really about us educating ourselves to understand the logic that is the infrastructure of our world. If you think about it, everything that we do, the PTA for your children, your trip to the grocery store, everything that you do, your vacation dollars, it all revolves around a financial scenario. So we just put ourselves in such a better position when we understand the economics behind all the things that we're doing. So again, we're here because this particular IML opportunity is through the chart. It's through the roof. It's off the charts. We have an opportunity to be able to invest in a $5.4 trillion market daily. We have an opportunity to invest in cryptocurrency, something that we just talked about 6 months ago, and now it's real, and now it's here, and it gives us an even more opportunity to expand our horizons in terms of investing. We have an opportunity to be able not only to invest, but to teach others to invest. I tell you, one of the things that makes me so excited about this IML opportunity is that my children are teenagers. So they get the opportunity to be able to learn this as I do it more and more. Daddy, what's that? What are you doing? What are all those colors on your phone? So the opportunity to be able to share this with them, this is a skill that they will always have. Be your own bank. Honestly, real talk. The concept gives me goosebumps because the opportunity for us as a nation to be able to take ownership for understanding the way economics works, for understanding the way finance works, for understanding the way the investment markets work. It just really is going to put us in a better position, a position that we'll always be able to address. So here's a comment I had no idea I was going to make. The BET Awards came on Sunday. And so I watched it. And there was a particular performance that involved Nicki Minaj, Big Sean, 2 Chainz, and the fourth artist who I don't really know his name because I'm 51. So long story short, sometimes when you're watching a live performance, you hear the lyrics in a way that's a little bit bigger than you normally hear it. I promise you, when this call is over, I'm going to look up these lyrics because it really hit me so hard. Big Sean had his part. He's a young man out of Detroit, if you don't know who he is. And when he was rapping, he said so eloquently in rhyming style, and I'm totally paraphrasing him because I don't know the lyrics. He said, I'm the first person in my family to be a millionaire. And now I have the opportunity to pass this on to them. So maybe you'll do it with me. Maybe you'll Google it too and see what the actual line was. But it was so powerful and it really just moved me. It made me stand up and say, wow, what did he just say? So to hear a young man say something that powerful, something that really gives us an opportunity to be able to put our families on the other side of the money, that to me just literally gives me goosebumps. And that's how I feel every time I press the Zoom button to have these talks on Tuesday and Thursday at 10 o'clock. Because we have an opportunity to learn a skill that we will always have for the rest of our life, that we can share with our children, that we can share with those around us, that we literally can be our own bank. We can learn how to invest. We can do things in a way that's just so powerful. And I just don't even know how to put into words how excited I am about this. So one more time, let me pause and ask if anyone has any questions that they'd like to ask, or any comments they'd like to make, or any testimonies based on any of the things that are being said right now, any of the words that are emanating from where we are about to go. Because hear me, we are in a position right now where we as a company are about to do huge things. And what we're about to do as a company is going to be reflected in a microcosm of what all of you are going to do in your families, in your households, in your cities, in your communities. We really are about to put ourselves in a position where the peace, the love, the happiness, the wealth, the abundance, we're going to take it to another level. We are literally going to pick up our phones and we're going to make trades. And we're going to put the phone down, and when we pick it back up again, we will have made money. So literally what we're about to do, where we're about to go, the skills that we are developing every day, believe me when I tell you, we are building an infrastructure of power. We're building an infrastructure that's literally going to take us to another level. So all of you that are being so consistent and plugging in, hear me, you will be rewarded for what is going on here. Now, when I talk about finance, when I talk about economics, when I talk about investing, you always hear me say, that's only part of the equation. The part of the equation that makes it equal, makes it whatever it is, whatever it's going to be, is our mindset. It is so important that we understand that everything that I'm talking about right now takes a back seat to us putting ourselves in the best position. So I had a conversation with a loved one earlier today, and a loved one was saying that some people had done some things that weren't cool, and they were trying to find a way to be forgiving and try to find a way to get through it. How do I get through what these people have done? Now, first of all, let me say that it's true that the things that the loved one was talking about were true. Those things did happen. But one of the things that I wanted to do was give this loved one a new way of looking at this to help their healing. And one of the things I said to this person is, listen, out of love, I want you to think about the fact that these scenarios that you're describing to me, one of the common denominators is that you're having conflicts with other people. And of course, the person responded again accurately by saying, well, this person did this, and this person said this, and this person did that. And I said, you're right. They did all of that. But there has to be a lesson in this for you. And I think that the lesson here is you're taking yourself subconsciously through this scenario so that you can see the pattern. And the pattern is that oftentimes when you allow yourself to have conflicts with other people, it puts you in a vulnerable position. So now this person may have been there for me, but we had a beef. Now this person has an opportunity to help me, but instead they're hurting me because we had a conflict. And this person over here is out to get me because, yeah, we had a run-in before. So if you think about it, and those of you that are listening to me and you resonate with any part of what I'm saying, think about it. If you have similar stories, the only person that was involved in every one of those scenarios was you. So it's very easy for us to, again, accurately point to what the people did and what the people said. But we have to own the fact that if we're experiencing conflict, it's not the other person. It is the other person, but it's us as well. So this was a scenario that I gave to this loved one for them to think about. When you are connected, what does connected mean? Connected means that I am at one with God. God is love. So I'm walking in love. It means that I have a high vibration. It means that I'm feeling good. It means that I'm in peace. It means that I've just meditated and I've come out of meditation in that state of euphoria, or that state of calmness. That's what being connected means. And so I said to this loved one, when you're connected, it is impossible to see a flaw. And if you see a flaw, then you have the flaw. Let me say it again. When you're connected, it is impossible to see a flaw. And if you see a flaw, then you're the one with the flaw. Now, I am well aware that we live in a world that is very aggressive in pointing out all the things that people do wrong. We watch the news. I have not watched the news in 15 years, but that's a part of our life where we talk about this happened wrong and this happened wrong. And this president did this and this politician did this and this person cut me off on the road. I'm not in any way saying any of those things aren't true. What I'm saying is that there's a way for us to flip the script on our perception and change the way we look at things. When you change the way you see things, the things you see change. When you change the way you see things, the things you see change. So what I'm suggesting is not that these people aren't doing and saying all these things. What I'm saying is that one of the things we do is we take it personal. We say, this person said something to me. This person did something to me. But in reality, they just did something. They just said something. Look at the difference in the heaviness of that energy. That person said something. That person said something to me. That person did something. That person did something to me. There's a level of victimization in the way we say to me. Because it's personal what all people are doing. All people are doing is simply being themselves. There's a spiritual principle called the law of allowing. And the law of allowing means that we allow people to be who they are. That means if I allow you to be who you are, I don't see any issue with that. I don't see any harm in that. You're just being you. And when you're being you, and I feel as though the energy that you're walking in doesn't match mine, I just walk away. But if I stay there and confront you and tell you how wrong you are and tell you why you shouldn't do that and tell you all of the wrong things, I just matched your energy. So now we have two people that are not connected. We have two people that are off balance because I now wanted to find a flaw in you. So the law of allowing, another way of looking at it is this. I am going to allow people to be who they are. And I'm going to sift through their energetic field and pick out the things I like. Why are you doing that? Those things that you don't like are real. They are real. But it's my choice to dislike it. It's my choice to have a problem with it. When I said to the loved one, okay, listen, here's a way of looking at this. I want you to think about the conflict. Their response to me was, you know what? You're right. When I don't like people, I just need to just let it go. When I don't like people, I need to find a way to get along with them. And I said to that level, wait a minute, it's deeper than that. It's not about what you do after you decide you don't like someone. It's about the decision to not like them. If I am allowing them to be who they are, there's nothing to dislike. I just respect and understand who they are. So now the old paradigm is they do something I don't like. So I've got to tell them. Here's another statement I made to this level. I'm talking about connecting. You're talking about detaching. Detaching is where you know something negative is going on over there, but you pretend that you don't see it, so you don't look over there. But then you begin to resent the fact that you don't get to look over there. That's detaching. What we want to do is connect. What we want to do is recognize this person is doing something. This person is saying something. So what I'm going to do is analyze my reaction to this. And because I feel a particular reaction to it, I'm going to work on my connection. Let me get connected so that I feel something different. Let me pray. Let me meditate. Let me bless them. This is something I've done with life coaching clients for years. When they are very angry with someone, I will say, repeat after me. Let's say they're angry at Bob. Bob, I bless you with pure love and light. You know most people aren't able to even say it. That's not Bob. Bob did not go inside of your head and make you not able to say that statement. But the anger and resentment that you have toward Bob is so strong, you're not even able to bless him. It's impossible to bless someone and curse them at the same time. So what I do is encourage them to bless the person. And hear me, the first time they have to spit it out. But the third, fourth, fifth, or time that you bless someone, it goes away. The anger goes away. So that's proof that when we're angry with someone, it's not them. It's us. We're making a choice to not like someone. We're making a choice to not like someone. Now, what does this have to do with the IML experience? Everything. Because we know that we have other forces pulling against us. We have families, we have jobs, we have responsibilities. And the calmer we are, the better we feel, the more love that we walk in, the higher our vibration, the more connected we are, we'll just look up and time will just open up and we'll be able to have every minute that we need to be able to perfect our trading, to perfect our craft. Because an angry person is not a productive person. I had a life coaching client earlier today, and the life coaching client said, this person is really angry. And I said, and they said, if I give that person $3,000, will that make them less angry? And I said, hear me. It's impossible to make somebody else not angry because anger comes from the inside out. So it has to be stopped from the inside out. So if you give that person $3,000, you just set the world for $3,000 worth of angry purchases. The money won't make them feel better. Only they can make themselves feel better. So if that's true of that young lady, that means it's true of all of us. So here's the challenge that I'd like to issue to all of us. Let's walk away from this call tonight and let's really think about ways in which we are choosing to dislike someone, ways in which we are choosing to dislike a situation, ways in which we are choosing to point at what we don't like. Because the way the universe works is whatever we point to, that's what we'll get. So if we point to all the things we don't like, if we point to all the things we don't do, if we point to all the things we can't do, if we point to all the things we haven't done before, then we'll get more energy operating in that. So starting right now, we can feel better about our situation by appreciating instead of complaining, by appreciating instead of complaining, by appreciating instead of complaining. It is impossible to appreciate and complain at the same time. It is impossible. Try it. Try to give a compliment and complain in the same thought. You've got to move one eye or the other to do the other. So that means anytime you feel yourself going into a complaint in either thought, word, or deed, anytime you feel yourself going into a complaint in either thought, word, or deed, you have the opportunity to flip it immediately by appreciating. I have a 13-year-old who is extremely emotional. And when this child gets in a mood, she gets in a mood. So the solution is always effective. Nielle, go get your appreciation journal. And when she opens up that journal and she starts writing in it, the mood shifts. She wants to stay mad. Well, they shouldn't have did that. I don't like, but it's impossible. The more she writes in that appreciation journal and she simply writes down what she's thankful for, the mood goes away. It is impossible to appreciate and complain at the same time. So I want you to just for a second, think of all the things that you complained about today. And now change every one of those to something you're thankful for. I don't care what it is. I don't care how bad you think the person is. You can shift it immediately. When you change the way you see things, the things you see change. When you change the way you see things, the things you see change. So watch. You follow my advice and you begin to specialize in what you like. You look around and everything you're experiencing is what you like. Your trades will be better. You'll have more time to do IML Academy. You'll look up and individuals will all come to you and want to join your business. So I hope that everyone is getting some value from this conversation, because again, I just want to say how particularly pleased I am that we have this opportunity to have this block of looking at the nitty gritty and looking at the big picture and putting ourselves in a position that when 10:45 on Tuesday and Thursday come, we're better people with better perspective, ready to do better things. So thank you so much for your attention this evening. And Tasha, I'll turn it back to you.
Okay, there it is. I'm off mute now. Thank you so much for sharing that information, and thank you so much for pouring into us this evening. This was just a wonderful, wonderful call. And what I want to do as we transition is I want to just kind of share some information. I want to share some information to kind of highlight this opportunity and what we were discussing. And bear with me, I don't know why this pulls up like this, but just kind of to share the information of what you were highlighting this evening. And I won't be before you long, but what Dr. Bythewood was highlighting this evening is iMarkets Live. What is iMarkets Live? iMarkets Live is the opportunity that we have before us to be able to take advantage and partake into it with the foreign exchange market. If you are on both of the calls this evening, we highlighted some of these tools that we're about to go over. But as we get into this, what this is and exactly what it does is this is a cash flow quadrant. When you look at this quadrant, I apologize, these slides are getting stuck. But when we look at this quadrant, we are actually, most Americans and most of us are operating within the 95 percentile. And what it does is it transitions us to become to the 1%. We want to go from working for our money to where our money is working for us. Now, what is the foreign exchange market? Foreign exchange is where we can actually learn to trade our money. The foreign exchange market is where we are trading one currency for another. This is at over $5.3 trillion a day. And with the addition of cryptocurrency, it's trading at over 11 trillion a day. So you have the opportunity to be able to trade on any device. Now, what is my iMarkets Live? iMarkets Live is a first-class educational system. We're almost here at 5 years. On July the 4th, it will be 5 years, and we are a debt-free organization. we have a corporate leadership team. Our corporate leadership with our CEO, Chris Terry. Chris Terry, he has a heartbeat for people. He has traded over millions of dollars. He has earned and traded over millions of dollars. Now, he wanted this information available to everyone. And so that is why this IML Academy platform is available to everyone the way that it is laid out. And he put together a corporate leadership team to help facilitate that. So we have our corporate leadership team that's phenomenal, but we also have our local leadership with the likes of Mr. Gerald D. Rogers, who is tremendous. He's our coach and our mentor. Then we have Pastor Isaac Bird, who we heard from earlier this evening, who before he didn't even know what the foreign exchange market was. He had heard about it, and now using this platform, he is actually teaching the tools of trading. And then we have the likes of Dr. Craig Bythewood, we had a talk with the finance doctor this evening. That is the leadership team that's available to us. Now, what makes us unique? The results with our services are not guaranteed, but what makes us unique is that we do not handle your money. We do not handle your investments. We actually teach you how to do this yourself. So iMarkets Live does not earn anything off of your trades, and that is what makes us unique. You get to enter and exit a trade at any time. You're not limited at how much you can earn and what you can do. Now, the IML Academy that you have before you that Dr. Bythewood was referencing is the IML Academy is where you can go from kindergarten all the way to graduate school. You do not have to know anything about the foreign exchange market. You are going to learn. There is a plethora of information. You are going to learn from expert traders. So the information that is there is in multiple languages. It's going to take you from basic to advanced. And then we have our iMarkets Live TV. Now, once again, this iMarkets Live TV, this is going to increase your level of success because you have live foreign exchange traders that are teaching this information, that are going through trading sessions. This information is available to you. And if you can't make a live session where you can interactively communicate with the trader, there is a recording. These sessions are recorded. It's in multiple languages and multiple trading sessions that is available to you. The tools that are available is the harmonic scanner. Now, the harmonic scanner assists beginners. It scans the market. It gives you the entry point, the exit point, your take profit. It gives you your stop loss. It gives you everything that you need to be successful. This is one of the tools with a high accuracy confirmation of return. It increases your accuracy to 85 to 90%. Then another tool is the web analyzer. This is a tool that we were training on and utilizing this evening. Now, the web analyzer, it customizes your entry point to help you increase your success in trading. This is to combine trading strategies because everybody's personality is different. So you identify with the trading strategy that works for you, and it increases your profit and your return. Now, swing trades. Another tool that we have is swing trades. I talked about the CEO, his dream, his vision, and what he laid out when he began and developed iMarkets Live. He is still trading. So what the swing trades is you actually get information sent to you on a weekly basis from the CEO who is still actively trading. How wonderful is that the CEO is still that actively engaged in your success and sending you trade alerts? And then we have swipe trades. I know in school you were taught that you don't want to copy and paste. Well, you have the opportunity with swipe trades to earn while you learn. So all you have to do, if you can copy and paste, you have the ability to be successful because these are the expert traders, the foreign exchange traders that are actually sending out their signals of what they have actually doing, what they're doing in the market, and you get to do this as well. You can copy and paste what they're doing for your success. We also have coin trades. That is the exact same thing with the cryptocurrency. And the training and support that you're going to get, you have a tremendous amount of training and support, as you can see that you have with these calls, the call that you have been on this evening. Now, how do you get started? You get the IML Academy, the TV, the harmonic scanner, the swing trades, and also add the swipe trades and the web analyzer for $225, which is $250 plus tax. And that is how you get enrolled, and that is how you get started. Then what iMarkets Live does for you is they give you a 2 and free. So you have the opportunity to get 2 and free. That is you share this information with 2 individuals that become 2 paying customers, and you have the opportunity to have your information for free. You will waive your monthly access fee. Now, this part of the presentation, this part is optional, but what we've discussed up until this point is available to everyone. That is your trading. That is learning a new skill set to multiply your personal income. That is to trade. That is to multiply your income. But what I want to talk about at this moment is optional. It is what we talk about and what we call residual income. It is to become an independent business owner where you are earning residual income. Now, when you begin earning residual income, as you sponsor customers into your organization, you begin earning team builder bonuses. Now, residual income, when you sponsor 3 individuals, 3 customers within your organization, you begin earning $150 a month. Then that positions you for a promotion of Platinum 150. Now, Platinum 600, 12 customers in your organization. That is not just 12 customers you've accumulated yourself. That is 12 customers that you've helped your other 3 customers. If they've decided they wanted to build a business, you and your other 3 customers, and now you have a total of 12, and now you're earning $600 residual income a month. $600, that is $150 a week. Then you have Platinum 1000. Platinum 1000 is 30 customers in your organization. That is going to bring you $1,000 a month residual income. Now, once again, that is in addition to what you're trading. iMarkets Live and no one else earns anything off of what you trade. So this is strictly residual income and in addition. So then we have what I want to highlight here is Chairman 10. Accumulate 500 customers in your organization. We are now earning $10,000 a month. You have positioned yourself to earn $10,000 a month. $10,000 a month. So what do you get? You get the leadership, the world-class education, this dynamic platform, the support, the unmatched passion and vision, and you get to let your money work for you. So every single time we do this presentation, we have 3 types of people. The first person says, you know what? Once I heard the talk with the finance doctor, I already knew that I had to make a decision, and I was ready to learn a new skill set. And with that, I say go ahead and get back to the person that invited you out to this call so you can go ahead and get enrolled and begin learning a new skill set. The second person says, you know what, I understand that the bank has been using my money and I'm ready to learn a new skill set, but I have a few questions. We can get those questions answered for you. Make sure that you get back with the person that invited you out. Get those questions answered by someone having success, because you have to position yourself to begin learning a new skill set to multiply your money. And a third person says, you know what, I'm ready to learn a new skill set. And in addition to that, I'm ready to earn residual income. So get back with the person that invited you out to this call. Get enrolled. Let them know if you are a 1, 2, or 3 type person, individual. And we look forward to working with you. And we look forward to seeing you on Thursday evening when we do live trading at 9 p.m. We look forward to working with you, and we look forward to our next talk with the finance doctor utilizing the exact same link. So get back with the person that invited you out. You have a blessed evening, a wonderful night, and I look forward to talking and working with you again and seeing you on Thursday. This officially concludes this call.